Welcome to the show that helps you find the next Apple, Google, Starbucks, or company you've never heard of. But if you bought it early, it could have made you filthy rich. I'm your host, Andra Enescu. Today our focus is on Yukon Gold. We are constantly bombarded with TV advertisements encouraging us to invest in gold, to sell our gold, or even to buy metal detectors to find gold. And when times are uncertain, gold certainly seems like a good investment. But what is the real deal with gold? And is it a good investment right now? Today we explore what many are calling the next Yukon Gold Rush, thanks to Underworld Resources' White Gold Project's recent discovery. Just one of their deposits in the Yukon is currently estimated to be worth a whopping $1.5 billion. And this could be just the beginning. Joining us a little later in the show are some real gold diggers. They're three publicly traded gold resource companies located in, of course, you guessed it, the Yukon, all of which will explain how they could be sitting on the next big find and how you might find your pot of Lucky Charms by cashing in and investing right now. Joining me now is the man who knows all about gold. He's the metals and mining analyst and gold expert for Versant Partners. Hi, Rob. Tell us, gold has been used as the world's first form of currency, and it's recently reached its all-time highs. What exactly is making gold reach these new heights?
Well, gold's pretty much a safe haven investment, and if you look at the other alternatives, right now gold seems to be the only safe place to go. If we look at the conventional things, such as equities, we're having a global financial crisis right now, and we're seeing a lot of volatility in the markets. So we're seeing companies, stocks actually go down and up, and gold seems to be a good safe haven relative to those. If we look at bonds, we're having default problems because companies may be going under, so we have some worries from that perspective. And even if we just look at properties, that's what started the whole problem. We have overvalued properties, and it kind of started the entire global economic crisis. And if we look at it from a different perspective also, looking at just from currencies, gold has been used as a safe haven from currencies as well. You're seeing a lot of countries, such as the US, deflate their currencies by doing a lot of, they're effectively printing money with their quantitative easing. And you're seeing a lot of inflation happen. And a good hedge against inflation is buying gold. And an additional layer to look at is countries are just straight defaulting or having some worries about that. We've seen it with Greece, for example. We're seeing a lot of worries about that. And when investors are worried, they go to gold.
What makes you an expert on gold?
Sure. At Versant Partners, I am the equity research analyst covering the gold, precious metals, base metals, and uranium sectors. In terms of what I've done, I have 5 years in the industry covering mining companies, both on the sell side and the buy side. So I was a portfolio manager for a while, investing in directly resource companies, and I've also been an analyst covering stocks. Okay, so let's cut to the chase, Rob. Is gold a good place to park your money today? For an investor who believes that there's more volatility going forward, I think I'd be one of them. I think it'd be a good safe place to at least have a portion of your portfolio into. With the economies having problems, you're going to have a lot of volatility in the markets, and I think having an investment in gold would be prudent.
What are we looking for when we're investing in these junior gold exploration companies? When
looking at any mining company, the things I generally look for is first good management. You want someone who has experience exploring specifically for the metal that they're looking for. In this case, we're looking for gold from what we're talking about. So you would ideally find an exploration manager who has a history of finding gold and actually finding something of decent size. It's better than finding someone who's maybe been exploring for diamonds or copper or something else, ideally something like that. Looking at the actual projects themselves, something with a high grade, so basically the more of the actual material you're looking for, in this case gold, per ton of rock that we're pulling out of the ground. So the higher the grade, the more gold there is per ton that we're pulling out. Other things that we usually look at is a good political climate. For example, a government that's supportive of mining is always very desirable, as well as infrastructure, just simple basic things such as having a road nearby, having power, having water, things that you generally need to have to operate a mine.
And how do you think our general audience would get those kind of details? How would they have access to that information?
Doing research, the company websites will generally have that type of information, as well as reading research reports from analysts such as myself. So we usually make it a point to cover those areas when we cover companies. So we would look at those and provide our opinions on those as well.
But what are the advantages in investing in a gold exploration company, some of these junior companies out here, as opposed to investing directly in gold?
Sure. I think the key difference is when you're investing in a gold exploration company, you get the potential upside of more exploration. Right now, for a gold exploration company, they could have a certain amount of gold they found, but they're constantly drilling, constantly exploring. And if they find more, the value of that company expands significantly. Whereas if you're investing directly in gold, you're pretty much just buying that one commodity. You're not going to get any more gold. It's just based on the value of where you think gold's going to go from there. So you get additional upside from the exploration success.
And our guests today are part of what some are calling the next Yukon Gold Rush. So could you give us a bit more detail, some facts on the so-called gold rush? What is it exactly?
Sure. The Yukon Gold Rush, the current form actually is, well, giving you a little bit of background, there was a big gold rush previously that's everyone heard of. And I guess there was a period where everyone thought the gold's been pretty much all taken away.
Yes.
That changed significantly when Underworld found their deposit. And it was large enough to the point where Kinross came in and bought out the company. That's kicked off a very large staking spree. And just to give you some numbers for an example, in previous years, the number of claims that were put in were somewhere between 10,000 to 15,000 claims. Over the last 2 years, you've seen over 80,000 for 2010 and 2011.
Quite an expansion.
Exactly. People know that there's gold there. There's just a different way of looking at it, looking for it now, and there's a big rush going for it right now.
Well, that's excellent. Very exciting. We're going to take a quick break right now, but when we get back, we'll hear from 3 gold exploration companies who are going to try to convince you that their stock is the next biggest winner. Stay tuned.